On June 22nd, an update was released for TF2. It added a new cosmetic collection and, according to the official patch notes, implemented numerous security and stability improvements, alongside some changes to in-game systems, like the Volt Kick system, supposedly to reduce the impact bots have on the quality of casual matches. A part of the community saw that and shouted, "Valve has fixed the bot issues." The sad reality is that, although these changes are welcome, they are too little too late. And worse, the release of that update has broken, for a couple of hours, several community servers, which is a bad sign for the community and for the game's future. Those who know me are aware that I'm a pretty chill fella and I don't like saying bad words. But I was infuriated by Valve's negligence towards the community in this last update. If you want a quick summary of the update, I think Pyro Joe did a great job with his video. You should give it a watch. I won't detail here the cosmetics that got added or even the patch notes in full. Basically, if it truly works as intended, and I say this because we can't even be really sure of that, the latest update changed the following. 1. It stops players from changing names in casual servers. 2. It adds a 5-minute cooldown. Players have to wait after joining a server before they can call a Volt Kick. 3. Players that disconnect from the server while a vote is active against them are immediately kicked. And 4. The Volt Kick menu will display the connection time of the player being Volt Kicked. And that's it. The practical effect of these changes is that now it is a little bit harder for bots to kick players from the server, and a little bit easier for players to kick bots. But none of that solves the main issue, that there are accounts being managed by malicious bots on Steam. This bot problem will never be fixed by specific changes made to TF2 or any of its subsystems, because this is a flaw on Steam itself. These bots are only able to do what they do because they can connect and utilize Steam. The solution to this problem is on improving Steam's security as a social platform against bot accounts, not on pushing small tweaks to the game. Actually, if you think about it, there's no good reason we couldn't have gotten these changes back in 2017, for example. The update also, and we don't know if that's on purpose or not, broke Cathook, the software that runs these bots, for a few hours. Because of that, for a couple of hours, the bots wouldn't work at all in TF2. Everyone was happy until the Cathook developers updated their code and boom, everything went to how it was before, as there are once again bots in the game, even spamming on both chat and voice chat and also kicking players from casual matches. In other words, nothing has actually changed in this matter. And what's worse, which really infuriated me, the update broke source mod as well for a couple of hours. Luckily, the source mod devs were quick on finding a fix, but that has crashed multiple community servers which couldn't run at all. My servers, creators.tf, Uncletopia, Balance Mod, all of them suddenly crashed and remained that way for some hours. For those unfamiliar, source mod is a toolset to manage and customize community servers. Among other benefits, it offers better moderation and security tools for server admins. One of the reasons why, in general, community servers can have a better environment than Valve servers is the use of source mod. Without this important tool, we would have a lot more trouble managing servers, and the end result wouldn't be so much better than the Wild West that casual servers have become. Now, source mod crashing after an update because of something Valve changed is nothing new, it has happened before. What really pissed me off wasn't that specifically, but Valve's attitude towards the community given the current context of the game and its future implications. I'll explain. TF2 has been neglected by Valve for a lot of time, and that has left a void, which was promptly occupied by many community projects that go from simply hosting servers, like my servers or Uncletopia for example, to creating new game mechanics to freshen the game up, as is the case with Creators.tf and Balance Mod. And thank God, the community stood up to take care of this game and do what Valve wouldn't. In the last years, with casual taken by bots, these community projects really saved a lot of players that otherwise wouldn't have where to enjoy the game in peace. What Valve did in this last patch, be it through incompetence or negligence, was essentially this. By breaking source mod, they completely ignored the importance of the ecosystem developed by the community to address the needs of players forsaken by Valve. We don't want to think about that stuff you use. We don't want to care about it, and we will not worry about that stuff you there are building yourselves. And at the same time, we will not build anything substantial to help you. Basically, that's what Valve's saying to the community with their actions. I agree, it isn't Valve's job to make sure third-party mods and tools work properly, but it isn't honest either to simply smack the community in the face like that. The least Valve could have done was, to avoid confusion, warn on the patch notes that third-party tools could break from this update, because that doesn't happen with every update. But ideally, they should have given the source mod community a heads up so they could be ready to fix it ASAP and avoid any downtime on community servers. This sort of community coordination isn't new to Valve. They have to do this with cosmetic creators, for example, and it could be done simply by sending 1 or 2 emails. But my main issue isn't the crash itself. What worries me is that any day Valve could snap their fingers and make changes that would completely destroy the tools we depend on to offer you a better experience on community servers. This time, the community was able to fix whatever Valve changed. But there's no guarantee that will be the case every time. Valve could, in the future, do a humongous mess up in a way in which the community wouldn't be able to fix it. Given Valve's incompetence record on managing their own games, I think that's quite a possibility. And I absolutely hate Valve for giving me this sort of concern. But anyway, I think we can learn some lessons from this update. First, the problems TF2 has won't be solved by simple tweaks to the game. The bot developers will be able to circumvent any obstacle placed for them on TF2. About this, I also see a lot of people shouting, "Let's remove Linux support from TF2 because the bots run on Linux." In this last update, we got a glimpse of how stupid that would be. The game would be free from bots for a couple of hours until devs port Cathook to Windows, which is completely doable, mind you, and then the bots would come back to TF2. Only legitimate Linux players wouldn't. Trying to solve this problem with simple-minded and brute force measures will only result in more, forgive the word, shit for everyone to put up with. Second, Valve doesn't want to care for TF2 and doesn't care about the community that wants to do so. Valve won't even stop to think about this community and won't hesitate to step on their work in the future. Basically, Valve doesn't give a shit to the people that care for the game and want, by themselves, to make a better future for it. It is infuriating and tragic, and that's all I have to say.